Hello guys, what is up? It's King Christo here today with another video. Now today in this video, we are going to be going over a $650 PC that will run most games at 1080p at 60 FPS, as well as the fact that it will edit pretty decent. Now before I get into the video, I would like to say, if you guys want to suggest requirements for future PC build guides, definitely go into the description and click the Discord link and join my Discord server where you can suggest away, as well as the fact that if you are thinking of purchasing any of these parts, the PC part picker list will be linked in the description. For $160, you can pick up the Ryzen 5 1400. This is a 4-core, 8-thread CPU clocked at 3.2 GHz. Now another thing to note about this CPU is it is unlocked, meaning you can actually overclock it to get a lot more performance out of it. Finally, the CPU does come with a decent stock cooler, so we will not be needing to add an aftermarket cooler into this build. For $66, you can pick up the ASRock B350M motherboard. Now this does run off the B350 chipset, meaning that you can actually overclock with this motherboard. It is AM4, so it does support our CPU socket, as well as the fact that this motherboard is micro ATX, meaning that it can fit in any case that supports micro ATX form factor or larger. For $58, you can pick up a 1 8GB stick of Viper memory. Now this memory is clocked at 2400 MHz DDR4, as well as the fact that it has a cast latency of 15, which for the price is amazing, because this is actually the lowest price DDR4 2400 MHz RAM on PC part picker right now with the heat spreader. And so for that price, you'd think that it would have a higher cast latency of around 16 or something, but they actually do have the lower cast latency of 15, which if you didn't know, a lower cast latency is actually better, so that's good. So for the boot drive, I chose the MyDigital SSD 128GB SSD. This is only $70, and for that price you actually get full NVMe storage, meaning that it's going to be faster than any average SSD out there right now that's not NVMe. For example, an 850 Pro, which is much more expensive than this drive. Now 128GB is perfectly enough to install our operating system and a few really frequently used applications that you may have. And so overall, for the price, this is an amazing boot drive. For mass storage, I chose the Seagate 1TB hard drive. It's only $42 right now, and is a full 7200 RPM hard drive, along with a full 64 MB of cache. Now, Seagate is definitely a very reliable brand, which is one of the biggest things with hard drives. Since they have moving parts, you gotta find a reliable brand, and I would definitely trust Seagate to be the company that made my hard drive. For the graphics card, I went with the Asus Dual 4GB RX 580. This is the 4GB model of the RX 580, but this will probably still perform better than the 1066GB in most games. I'd also like to say that it does have a pretty good looking cooler for the price of only $210, which for an RX 580, especially right now, because of all the prices have been outrageous for a lot of these cards, is amazing while it's in stock. Also, this RX 580 is supporting FreeSync, so if you have a FreeSync monitor, you can use this and it will work just fine over the more expensive G-Sync that works with NVIDIA cards. So for the case, I chose the Xeon XON 310. This is by no far means the best looking case in the world, but it will get the job done. It does support the micro ATX form factor of our motherboard, as well as the fact that it does have an included case fan, which at this price point not all cases have. I'd also like to add that this case does not have a side panel window, so since aesthetics were not being the #1 priority of this build, that is actually good because we don't have to see all the mismatching parts on the inside. For the power supply, I chose the Corsair CX550M. For $38, you get 550 watts of power. It does have an 80+ bronze certification, so it's not going to be pulling too much wattage from the wall that it doesn't need to, as well as the fact that it is semi-modular, which is really good for this price point because most power supplies under $50, you don't get any semi-modularity. Okay guys, so that was the build. Now, that will come out from around $650 to $670, and if you find deals on products, you can get it for less. But for the price, that is definitely some of the best performance out there. Now, if you guys are thinking of building anything like this, I'd like to remind you that the part list is in the description below to see all the current prices on the products, as well as the fact that if you want to request build requirements for my future videos, then definitely go and join my Discord server down below. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. This is King Christo signing off, and peace out.